let's talk about the most basic ways you can get leads. I mean, obviously you can find people like us, or maybe even freelancers on freelance.com, on upwork.com, who might have some experience. But bear in mind that the more freelance you go, the less quality you're going, because they're not going to have really a specific strategy to generate leads for you. But if you say, you know what, I'm going to do this on my own, I'm a savvy business person, there are appointment setting services out there that can set up appointments for you, and they charge on a monthly basis, or sometimes they charge on a per appointment basis. What they will do is they will cold call people. Do you have a script when you're cold calling people? Do you know exactly what your service offering or your solution to a specific problem is? So that's the most important thing that you would look at, looking at the most simplified way of generating leads. That's the first thing that I would do. Now, let's say you did cold calling and you did appointment setting and it didn't really work. So what would be the next step? What's the next thing that I can do? As a small business owner, remember, I might not have a big budget, or even if I have a budget, it's limited. What else can I do?
Well, you can pay for LinkedIn Premium. Really narrow in on what your target audience is and use their services, their sales navigator.
Why LinkedIn, Ohad? What's so special about LinkedIn?
There is no other network like that for professionals. Nothing, a database like that doesn't exist, or
Correct.
nothing even close to it.
Yeah.
So with their premium tools, you can filter by specific industries, by specific finding the decision maker in a company. You can filter by the size of a company, so that will help you get better leads.
Correct. So if I organize events, I can go to companies that have money. Who are the companies that have money? Anybody that has more than 10, 20 employees. And
Exactly.
I can find their HR managers, and I can say, hey, I designed these events. And I can even say, I want everybody in the South Florida area.
Exactly.
I want everybody in the New York area. So LinkedIn Premium costs what, $75, $80 per month. And it's a great tool to get started. And once you do LinkedIn Premium, then if you know the name, last name, and the company address of somebody, you can use a tool, and we will write these tools on this page as well. You can use a tool like hunter.io or snow.io to find the contact information of those people. So Tatiana, once we find the contact information of those people, there are different things we can do. We can send them a cold email, or as we talked about last week, we can put them on a drip marketing
Correct.
strategy, right? What's the difference if I'm trying to just contact them once and trying to get a response versus if I put them in a drip marketing strategy? And drip marketing is, instead of sending them one email and hoping they convert, you send them a series of emails.
Correct.
What's the difference between the two?
Well, I think the difference is you're building trust with the prospect. You're basically solidifying your expertise in the services that you're trying to provide, and you're, as we said, continuing communication with that lead. So, and it's not the cold sales approach where you're just trying to get them to give you money on the first transaction or the first encounter, because that's likely not going to happen. So creating something where you're just following up with communication and letting them know, I know this, I have the tools to help you, is a great way to foster that.
And also what you're doing is you're there when they're ready to make the decision. When you do the first contact, they might not be ready to make the decision. They might be just looking for information. But if you continue and if you are there at the right time where they say, you know what, this makes sense, I'm ready to make this commitment, then you are there. And that could be, you know, a week from the first touch, or that could be 6 months from the first touch. Maybe they didn't allocate their budgets yet for the next year, etc., etc. There could be 100 different reasons. But we skipped one thing. It's now unethical and illegal to add a cold email to a drip marketing funnel. You cannot do that with the new rules of GDPR. You can do it. There are people who do it, but very likely you're going to fall into the spam box, because Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, and all the other ISPs out there, you will be in the spam box. It doesn't really help. So if I can't cold email people, or let's call it cold drip market people, the only other option I have is
LinkedIn, the Sales Navigator approach.
Sales Navigator, because you can send emails on LinkedIn, correct? It's still GDPR compliant. It's expensive, but it's GDPR compliant. And then you have Facebook, because you can take all these lists, you can create specific audiences, and then you can put ads on Facebook. Now, Facebook platform disclaimer, you have to know this platform very good to get good leads at lower prices. But I'll tell you this, for $1,000 on Facebook, you can have your ad shown to 1 million people in the United States. And you will not get that level of impressions from any kind of traditional media. And that's why Facebook is so powerful. Now, when you're talking about internationally, if you have a product or a service that you can sell internationally, you can make millions. Due to the fact that Facebook is very cheap Facebook advertising is very cheap in Latin America, in developing countries, Eastern Europe, Middle East, Asia. It's expensive in the United States, but still there is so much room, because if you're selling a service that's average sale of $10,000, you can afford $30, $40, $50, $60, $70 per lead.